All right, welcome back to another playoff edition of Watching. This time we are going to watch the big man, the captain, number 99, Aaron Judge. Even in a series defeat, he was absolutely incredible versus the Blue Jays in the ALDS this year, 2025. So we're just going to get right into checking out the big guy, how they pitched him, how he did it, what we think. Are we impressed? Of course we're going to be impressed. So let's go check out Mr. Aaron Judge really quick. I have him pulled up here. You know the big man had an incredible year this year, 9.7 WAR, 53 homers, hit 331 with 137 runs scored, 114 RBIs, added 12 stolen bases just for fun, 457 on base, a 1,144 OPS, and a 215 OPS plus. Firmly, in my opinion, cementing himself as the best hitter in the major leagues this year. He's now had three of his last four seasons in the big leagues have had OPS pluses of over 200. That's basically unprecedented, and he's on a 4 consecutive year run with his OPS over 1,000 on a basic level. Now, in this series, what we're going to hone in on is he had 4 games, 19 plate appearances versus the Jays in this series, 15 at bats total, scored 5 runs, got 9 hits, 2 doubles, 1 homer, 6 RBIs, walked 4 times, struck out only 3 times for a 600 batting average, 684 on base percentage, Bonds esque, 933 slugging percentage, and a 1,618 OPS. So even in defeat, I feel like this is something that will be very fun and very interesting to watch. So let's just go right into it. We're going to start with game number 1 in the series, and he starts his first at bat of the series versus Mr. Kevin Gausman. Now, we all know Gausman is a fastball splitter pitcher, so let's see how he attacks Judgy. First pitch heater down the middle, and I think this is important for Judge to have done. He comes out swinging right away, basically saying, I know you guys need to get ahead of me. You don't want to fall behind against me. So I'm just going to let you know I'll be ready to swing 0-0. So even though this is a foul ball and he's a little late and under this pitch, it sends the message. You're not going to get any free strikes with me. So 0-1 count. And now Gausman goes to his third pitch here, which is the slider. And Judge absolutely hammers that through the hole at 112.6. Not fooled whatsoever by the slider. And he is 1-for-1 as this season gets started. Now, Gausman's mostly fastball splitter, and that's what you're going to see mostly out of this guy. But he does have a little bit of a slider, and it's very telling that he doesn't go to the bread and butter right away. He goes to pitch number 3 right away here in the first at-bat, trying to not let Judge sit on anything that he's expecting and give him something that hopefully he's not expecting. But this is just a very mediocre slider middle of the way, and Judge has never seen one of those he didn't like. So he smashes that through the hole, and his first at-bat of the series starts with a base hit. All right, at-bat number 2 versus Gausman. It's going to be a one-pitch at-bat. 2-0 Blue Jays at this point, and it's a first-pitch fastball. Judge, again, being aggressive. Gausman does a really, really nice job, though, here. You got to give credit to Gauss. Definitely can feel that Judgy's going to be a little aggressive here leading off the inning. Knows that he doesn't want to fall behind here, so he throws a strike. But the key is this beautiful location up and in. Just good. And this kind of tipped off us a little bit in the series how they wanted to pitch Judge. They wanted to throw him up and in, right on right. And at least for the first time, the first attempt, it does work. Jams him, only hits this ball 79, 9 miles an hour on the ground to second. And now he's 1-for-2 in this ball game. Third at bat, also versus Gausman. And this was a huge one. Bases loaded, no outs in the inning. And now, I broke down this at bat on my Baseball and Coffee live show the day after. But I do think this first pitch leads to the eventual strikeout here. Gausman kind of throws a happy accident backdoor fastball here. As you can see, Kirk is set up on the inside part of the plate, but Gausman overcooks this fastball, also upticks his velocity to 97 miles an hour, knowing he's facing the big man, he's going to need a little extra. So as you see, this ball starts away and kind of creeps back over the corner. Kirk does a nice job of sticking it, so they get to 0-1. And even though he didn't mean to do this, he gets count leverage here. It also sets a tunnel for later that he's going to need, and I'll show you how that works out. All right, 0-1 count, and here comes the split. The bread and butter is the first splits Judgy has seen all game. This one is non-competitive and totally pulled. But can we just take a second to admire the block here by Alejandro Kirk? Holy cow, how did he keep that in front? That's an art form, folks. So 1-1 count, back to the fastball. Once again, showing that they want to go in with it, but he pulls it down below. Kirk with the inside setup. So this is showing the early thought process of the Jays in this series was off speed away, fastballs up and in, get him up and in. But Gosman gets a little skittish here and pulls this ball middle down for a 2-1 count. 2-1 count. Aaron Judge is in the driver's seat here. And then Gauze goes to the bread and butter. The split. Really good pitch. Now, for my money, 2 reasons why Judgy misses this ball. Number 1, he hasn't seen a lot of splits yet. So that's important to point out. But secondly, this ball comes out of that away tunnel again, just like the other pitches, the first pitch that he saw, except it's about 10 miles an hour slower. So he goes to fire on it like it's a fastball, and he's just early on it. I do think if he's looking for this pitch, this is a dangerous location to throw him, and this ball might end up in the cheap seats. But credit to Gosman, throws the right pitch at the right time, gets to a 2-2 count, and now we can watch them battle. Ooh, this pitch could have got hammered. This was a big mistake up in the zone with the split here by Kevin. And again, Judge is a little early, telling me he's still aware of the fastball. Ends up chopping it foul, and we'll do it again. Another split here. This time Judge has a much better take on it. As you can see, he starts to trigger a little bit with the swing, but then he's able to kind of give with the pitch and ride it out for a ball. This is similar to what I saw in Vladimir Guerrero Jr. this series. A very good ability to kind of ride pitches out and make good swing decisions below the zone. So he does get himself to 3-2. And even though this at-bat doesn't end well, there's no at-bats that are very easy versus Aaron Judge. All right, 3-2, 97, going up and in again, and they get it there. So again, Blue Jays showing that this is the plan. Soft stuff down, soft stuff away, and get the fastball up and in. They do it here. Judge spoils it. Does get a pretty good swing on it. You can see from his reaction that he feels like he should have handled this ball, but he doesn't, and that does set up the eventual strikeout. And remember, way back on that first pitch, down and away, I think that has a little something to do with this chase here. This is probably the one bad swing decision you get out of Aaron Judge in this series. This ended up being a huge pitch in the series and in the game. And credit to Gosman, because this was about the only time Judge made a mistake in judgment at the plate this whole series. So he strikes out here. That's the first strikeout he gets of the series. And now he is 1 for 3 on the day. Fourth at-bat in this game is versus Little, Brendan Little. Let's see how he goes at him left on right with a 5-run lead and nobody on. You should go right at him. Throws that cutter, 95-mile-an-hour cutter, arm side for a ball 1. Now he's going to go sinker. Not a lot of guys have the courage to double up to Aaron Judge for a strike. Little showing he doesn't have that courage either. Tries to go sinker, ends up shoving it in the dirt, and now he's exactly where you don't want to be. 2-0 versus the big man. All right, another sinker attempt here. And another miss, again, showing that it's very hard to convince yourself that it's okay to throw a nice pitch down the middle of the zone when Aaron Judge is there and you've seen what he can do and what he's been doing for years at this point. So Little 2-0, wants to make a perfect pitch, ends up throwing it below the zone, and it goes to 3-0. Now he's going to get back into the count here with a strike on a cutter. Down in, not a great pitch to hit. I'm sure Judgy, he's pretty damn good at swinging 3-0, but he's not going to swing at that pitch. This is a pitcher's pitch. Kind of an accidental paint. Great catch by Kirk. And he gets the 3-1. Now he's going to go back to the sinker. See, doesn't want to double up. The only problem is this time Judge is all over it. Not fooled by that cutter coming in on him last time. Stays with his attention out over the plate and hammers this sinker into left center at 101.8 at 15 for a nice line drive double. Really good swing here. I want to break that down a little bit with his energy here. Ball's coming. Judge stays on it. Notice, he doesn't hit it and stumble towards the third base dugout. He hits it, and his weight is still over the plate. You see that? Hit, weight over the plate. That is indicative to me of a guy who is willing to drive the ball to right center. Can't be sure what pitch he's going to get here. But overall, that approach to the big part of the field pays off here. And it's the second hit of the day. And that's the end of Game 1 of Judge's Game 1 performance. A nice little 2 for 4 day, and we will move on to game number 2 in this series. This time it was versus Trey Savage, who quite frankly had a legendary performance in this game, but Aaron Judge probably had the best at-bats against him. So the first at-bat in the first inning, 0-0, 1 out, nobody on. Savage starts him with a slider, so even a guy who he knows has never seen him pitch before still doesn't feel great about just piping a heater down the middle first pitch. Especially in Game 1, how Judge showed his willingness to ambush on the first pitch. So Savage goes slider. This is his other way of getting ahead in the count and pulls it away. Now 1-0, still doesn't go fastball. Still has a lot of respect to Judge. Goes to his absolute bread and butter pitch, the split, ends up pushing it inside, and now he's in that situation again. 2-0 to the big man. You don't want to give in. You might as well nibble a little bit here, try to get the big man to swing at something bad. That's what Savage tries to do. Judge isn't buying it, spits on the slider off the corner, and now we're in a 3-0 spot. And they say, you know what, let's just pull it outside. No need to go right at him here, and we'll just put him on base. So really just the threat of the power there is what kind of steers Trey out of the zone a little bit. Obviously, he's trying to make a clean pitch, but there's something about knowing that the consequences are really dire and really bad when you make a mistake in the zone to this guy, pushes him out of the zone, and he's on base for the first time. Second at-bat between these two, he actually does strike him out, so let's see how he goes about and does it. First pitch fastball middle. Now, this is the first time that Judge has let a first pitch fastball go by. And again, he just saw 4 balls in a row from this guy, so he's not really sure what to expect. So he's saying, you know what, I'm going to wait. I'm going to get a clean look at a strike if he throws me one, and maybe he'll throw me a ball. To Trey's credit, he pours one in here, and once again, this is the Blue Jay strategy. Kirk set up on the inside corner once again, and this time somebody actually hits it. So they get it in there, 0-1 count, and we move on. Savage straight to his dynamite split, and that's a fantastic take. This is the type of pitch that he's been getting swings on ever since he got called up. You can see the split comes from the heavens. It starts diving, and it dives really at a crazy rate, and it's slow, and yet Judge doesn't even trigger on it, showing you that his feel for the strike zone and his feel for recognizing pitches is actually one of the more underrated parts of his game. Everybody knows about his raw power and his athleticism and all those sort of things, but he has become absolutely elite at controlling the zone. Here's another example. 1-1 fastball away. Pretty damn close pitch, but he doesn't swing at it either. 2-1. All right, now 2-1 count. No way I'm challenging him with a fastball. I'm going to go slider, and Judge misses it. Now, partly why he misses this is because this is one of the more abnormal sliders in the game by movement. 6.2 inches, not negative 6.2, positive 6.2, which means this slider is going to the right, not to the left. So this is essentially a left-handed slider coming from a righty. So even though he gets the swing and miss here, a lot of it is just from the absolute strange shape of this pitch. So 2-2 count, and Savage is going to try to double up. This time Judge spits on another chase pitch down. And like I said, even when you do get him out, it never seems to be easy. We're back at a 3-2 count, and he does end up getting him with a 4-seam. And I think the big key here is the height of the pitch. It's the first time that he threw a competitive pitch right above the zone to Judge the whole day. Really, that the Blue Jays have done since this series started. And he does get Judge to be a little aggressive and swing and miss. So the formula here was get ahead early on a passive Judge, move the ball around with a mixture of slow stuff, throw a really freaking weird slider that he's never seen before, and then elevate late. That's what ends up working. But that's about it that ever worked, because even though he's 0 for 1 going into his third at-bat, he still ends up having a very nice day. Facing Justin Bruheel. First pitch sinker, down just below the zone. Good take. Doesn't need that. Takes it for a ball. Next pitch sweeper, pulled foul. You know what? We don't want to watch Ken Rosenthal talk, so we're going to switch over to this camera. I'm going to show you this sweeper again. So this is the first 2 speeds down pitch he's seen in this series. And what I mean by 2 speeds down is, you know, you got the 90s, mid-90s fastballs. You got the mid-80s for that second speed, that first speed down, which is, you know, sliders, changeup, splitters, etc. And then you got 2 speeds down for either a slow curveball, slow sweeper, slow changeup. In this situation, it's the slow sweeper, 77.4 miles an hour with a nice shape. So even though this is a pretty good pitch to hit, Judge is still definitely on, you know, a harder timing here, and he hammers it foul, and we get to 1-1. Now Bruheel comes back with a cutter in. Judge doesn't even trigger on it. You see how easy he takes this pitch? This pitch was in the zone for a while. Judge doesn't even trigger. Just showing that his batting eye is even better than I realized. All right, 2-1 cutter coming here again. This one's up and away. It is a called strike. I'm curious on the broadcast cam. I know we still got Ken over here talking. If this was actually in the zone, yeah, it does kind of catch the tippy top of the zone. So this is a pitcher's pitch. And as a hitter, this is the pitch you don't want to swing at. You're probably going to pop it up. You're going to get under it a little bit. And there's not really much you can do. So you're satisfied. You say you can have that one. You get to 2-2. And we'll try again. And here we go. 2-2. And it's another sweeper. But this time he stays on it. Hits it in play. And actually runs a nice hard 90. Jimenez, one of the best fielders in the game. Can't get him. Now, I think a big key to this was he actually didn't hit this that hard. But this is just good baseball. He doesn't strike out. Puts the ball in play, gives himself a chance, shows good hustle to first, and it pays off with an infield hit. Very rare, but we'll take it. Infield hit for Judge. Fourth at bat this game versus Tommy Nance, now a righty with a lot of sliders and a pretty hard fastball. So 3 different pitchers in this game, 3 different styles. None of it can really phase Judge in the long run. But you can see the Blue Jays try to throw a lot of different stuff at him. Here's a 90-mile-an-hour gyro slider on the corner that he's aggressive on here with bases loaded. But it's a really good pitch, so he smacks it foul. Now they're going to try to go curveball, try to play the game of 2 spin pitches back-to-back, but with different shapes. Overcooks it inside. Judge doesn't even flinch, and now we're on 1-1. Nance tries the sinker. They try to go in again. That's been the move on Judge, but this time he's able to stay through it and bloop it into center for an RBI hit. So, you know, one thing about Judge is he's just a complete hitter. I think everybody knows about the power. Obviously, he's hit over 50 home runs a bunch of times now. That's, you know, almost unprecedented in baseball history. Only a few other guys have ever done it, like a handful. But at the same time, he hit 330 this year. And how do you hit 330? By sometimes staying through a ball that you get jammed on and giving yourself a chance to hit it to the big part of the field. That's what he does. And he drops in an RBI single. And so now, at this point in the game, he is 2 for 3 with a walk. And he gets one more at bat for Seranthony Dominguez in the 9th as they try to make a little bit of a late comeback here. And the big key here is he just doesn't chase. Ball 1 on a pitch that was probably a strike. The 1-0, you can smell the fear. Even up 6, nobody on, 1 out in the 9th. 1-0 sweeper. Now they go finally to the fastball 2-0. This is a good approach by Judge. That's a pitch he can hammer, but again, what does the situation call for? The situation, by what I mean by that is the scoreboard. You're down 6. You can't hit a 6-run home run, so you're going to take here. You're going to give the pitcher a chance to dig his own grave and walk you and get some base runners because that's what the team needs. So even though this is a good pitch to hit, this is a good take by Judge. He never had any intention to swing, but that's just good baseball IQ. All right, 2-1. Seranthony's going to try to come back with that fastball again. And he goes in. Judge doesn't even flinch at it and gets the 3-1. You see the swing decisions. They're outstanding. Even this one, 3-1. He wants the swing. This is a pretty close pitch, but it's not quite in the area he wants to get to. So what I call this is selective aggression. He's ready to pounce, but he's looking for something specific. And if he doesn't get it, he's going to let it go. That's the case with this pitch. Allows him to make a pretty nice take below the zone. And he's on base for the 3rd time this game. So through the first 2 games, they have no answer for him, and that would continue in game number 3 as we head over to game number 3. This was the first game in Yankee Stadium. This was the one win the Yankees had in the series, and in no small part to Judge. As we all know, he hits an epic home run in this game. That'll be the 3rd at-bat. We'll get there. But here's the first at-bat versus Shane Bieber. These are 2 guys that have faced each other many, many times. It's a command game, as you can see there. Bieber dotting down and away 94-mile-an-hour fastballs. And the trick versus Shane Bieber is to not chase any of the breaking stuff a little bit off the corner and a little bit below the zone. So that's why he throws low fastballs early in the count to kind of set that trap to force you to chase below. Although Judge is one of the best at not chasing. So even though Bieber is setting him up the way he wants to, he's going to have to continue to be perfect out there to get Judgy out. Was he perfect? No. Comes back now trying to go in, and Judge is all over it. So they've been pitching him in, especially when ahead in the count. I think Judge started to sniff this out because this is a pretty good location. You dot down and away with a 4-seam, and then you go ahead and you hit Alejandro Kirk right in the glove here, up and in. But Judge is all over it. So he's onto them a little bit. Oh, you want to come in with me? You want to come in on me when you're ahead in the count? I can be prepared for that. 100.2 mile an hour at 11 degrees, line drive up the middle, and his first hit of the night. And that location, that up and in location that they've been flirting with early in the series, that's stuck in Judge's mind. That's going to show up big later in this game because he's prepared himself to cover that. Second at bat versus Bieber.
This crowd wants a loud noise right now.
First pitch, slider, middle. Good pitch to hit and a very aggressive swing. That's what you'd like to see. Just a little bit under it. It happens. This is more of a physical error than a mental error. But you know what? It's just strike 1, and let's see what we got on the 0-1. Bieber now goes to the slower breaking ball, the knuckle curve. Gets a really good, just gets a piece of it, but that was a really nice execution. So starts him with a slider in the middle. This pitch comes out in a similar height, except it has way more drop on it. Does the trick. Judgy only able to get a little piece on it. And now he is 0-2. But let's watch the big man battle. 0-2 slider. Oh, incredible take. I can't say enough about this take. This pitch tracked really, really well for a long time from Shane. Ends up, a couple of inches at most off the corner. Judge doesn't even really flinch at it. Gets to 1-2. Slider again. This time non-competitive, easy take, and now 2-2. He's going to go to the changeup, thinking he hasn't seen this pitch yet. Only issue is Judge is all over it, hammers it to left. 107 at 20 for a nice, actually, I think he only gets a single. No, he gets a double because he hustles out of the box. He's not one of those guys that watches the ball off the bat. He plays the game the right way. And he pulls his hands nice in here, and this is the second instance of pulling his hands in really well, showing me that he's a little more aware of the inside corner. And even though this is a changeup, typically a changeup in this location will get pulled foul, but look at how Judge is able to get the bat out in front of him and keep it square so that this ball still comes off true, and it's not hooked foul. It's just hammered on a line into the corner. Watch how ahead of his body he connects with this pitch. This is special. Pulls the hands in and beats it out front. That's what you got to do to get that bat right in the right orientation so that you're not coming around it and smacking it foul with a little hook on it. He gets it and hits it flush, takes it into left center. And, you know, the Judge swing, it's a very simple rear-legged launch type of swing. Try to be quick to the ball. And you can see it there in action. Beautiful swing. And now he's 2 for 2, and that set up the biggest at-bat, the legendary at-bat from this series versus Louis Varland. Now, Louis Varland has been a nasty, nasty reliever this year, both for the Twins and for the Blue Jays. He features 100 miles an hour with a 90-mile-an-hour knuckle curve. He's got a short arm action. The ball explodes on you. And he threw really well in this at-bat. Judge was just that much better. First pitch, knuckle curve, down and away. Or actually, medium height and away. He's aggressive on it, pulls it foul. To me, that showed me he was thinking about fastball. But they go ahead and they throw him a fastball on the second pitch. And this is probably one of the best fastballs Varland's ever thrown in his life, to go basically middle with outstanding ride and beat a fastball hitter in Aaron Judge in the hitting area. So he beats him. Judge takes a second, steps out, clears his mind, gets ready for the 0-2, and this is where the magic happens. This pitch is up and in, ridiculous pitch to hit at all, and he somehow is on it, keeps it fair, doinks it off the foul pole for a 3-run game-timing home run. This was his moment. Honestly, I don't know how he hit this pitch. This was the furthest inside pitch with this velocity since tracking in 2008 that was ever hit for a home run. This is the only one. But other than that, it's never happened. And it happens because of all of those fastballs in. Judge's anticipation is there. He does the same thing where he pulls the hands in. What a one-pitch adjustment. From getting beat on a fastball down the middle to slamming a ball off the foul pole. There's really only one guy in the world that could do this, and his name is Aaron Judge. Now, he was watching it, and he was wishing it to stay fair, and it sure did. Now, there is one view here that I want to show you guys really quick, because it's on this next panel, and what it is the umpire view cam of this home run. And what this is going to show you is just how far in this pitch was. Because at this moment right here, he looks beat, right? But that's how quick this guy's hands are, and that's how quick his rotation is. Gets it out front, keeps the arms tight. Honestly, it's just an incredible one-pitch adjustment. Here it is in full speed. And I wanted to show that. Incredible right there. All right, we go to his fourth at-bat of the game. Fourth at-bat of the game. And you know what? They say, we're sick of watching it. Brendan Little, give him the 4 balls, send him on his way. So at this point, the Blue Jays threw up their hands and they said, this guy's pretty damn good. We're not going to let him beat us anymore. And he gets one more at-bat in the 8th versus Nance. Ends up being another first pitch swing, trying to be aggressive here. And they finally do get him out, mainly because this pitch is perfectly placed on the corner. So far, if you haven't been perfect, you're pretty much not getting him out, outside of the one pitch that he chased first, Gosman. And through 3 games, he's been dominating. Let's go to game number 4. Now, unfortunately for the Yankees, this was the game that eliminated them. But no fault of Judge. He had another outstanding day, going 2 for 4 with a walk. And he gets that rematch versus Varland, who he took deep on the fastball up and in, in incredible fashion in game 3. Varland then becomes the opener in game 4, and they rematch up. So I was curious to see what Louis would do here. And sure enough, he completely changes his approach. He goes slider, first pitch up and away, and then comes back with a knuckle curve. No more fastballs for you, Mr. Judge. But Mr. Judge says, it's okay. If you throw it over the plate, I whack it. He whacks it into left for another hit. And you know what? Not his best piece of contact, but he's strong enough that even when he hits it off the end, he can still get it over the infield and get knocks. That's a big part of his game as well. And now Louis Varland's thinking, I throw him fastballs, he hits it. I throw him breaking balls, he hits it. I'm sick of this guy. All right, Sir Anthony Dominguez in his next at-bat. First pitch, sweeper, swing and miss. And I do think Judge's first pitch aggression was a big factor in a lot of the nibbling that these Blue Jays pitchers ended up doing. As you see, another sweeper there, and then an overcooked splitter down. And all series long, they were getting in bad counts to Judge, mostly because they're just afraid of him, and I don't blame them. I've been on that mound facing Judge before, and I'll tell you, he's pretty damn intimidating. Of course, you want to dictate everything, but when you fall behind in the count, you're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. 98 down. I also love this from Judge. He takes the pitch just like Stanton. He doesn't even move out of the box. There's a big intimidation when guys do this, like they're just cozy in the box, and Judge is flexing a little bit here. All right, 3-1 count. He's going to give him a challenge heater. And this is probably a lucky result for the Blue Jays as he hits this ball 112, almost takes the pitcher's head off. It just happens to go right to Ernie Clement, who's nestled behind the pitcher here. Man, this was probably loud and very scary as Dominguez saw his life flash before his eyes on this line out. Another great swing by Judge. Check it out from the side. Man, everything he hits is just absolute rocket. And then next at bat, they say, you know what? We're going to go ahead and give you another intentional walk. Lauer says, nope, no more. So second intentional walk of the series. And that gets us to at bat number 4, which is versus Fisher. This is going to be his last strikeout of the series. And this guy's a pretty nasty, tough matchup. A lot of up, down, breaking balls, sliders, and curveballs. So he goes first pitch slider away, second pitch curveball down, 2-0 count. Not giving in with a fastball, throws another curveball. Now Judge gets completely screwed here, so he probably should have walked again. He should have been 3-0. This pitch is way, way off the corner. I don't really know. I mean, I want to give credit to Kirk, but I think this is just a flat-out bad call by the umpire. And it goes to 2-1. Here comes the slider. Really good hack by Judge, but again, he shouldn't even be in this count. And again, the only reason this pitch works is because it's so perfectly on the outside corner. So Fisher getting a little lucky in this at-bat, and he does actually punch him out with a curveball. But if we're being honest, he should have never really been in this at-bat. That was a perfect pitch, and again, that's what it kind of takes. You gotta throw perfect pitches. You gotta get a little help from the umpire. That combination of things worked really well for Fisher in this at-bat. And that takes us to our last at-bat, and this is Judge's last at-bat of the season, a campaign that he was arguably the best hitter in baseball. Probably not even arguably. He was the best hitter in baseball. It comes against Hoffman. Yankees are trying to make a last-ditch effort to come back in this game. Hoffman starts him with a slider, perfectly dotted down and away. He's going to go for it again. Throws another perfect one, so 2 perfect sliders, and he's in the driver's seat versus Judge. But that doesn't mean you're out of the woods yet. He's going to try to triple up on that slider. Judge becomes a lot tougher with 2 strikes. This time he doesn't chase. Once you show it to him once or twice, he's going to be able to make good decisions after that. This was a pretty easy take for Aaron. And that gets us to the 1-2 count where he goes 4 sliders in a row. And this is a little bit of a mistake. Sends it down the middle. Lucky this ball stayed in the ballpark as Judge bangs it off the wall at 114.1 at 20. Stays on first because he hit it too damn hard. But, you know, they tried to be perfect. They tried to throw him a lot of breaking balls down and away. They had some success doing it, but anytime you make the slightest mistake, he's going to capitalize. Hoffman ends up putting this ball down the middle. Judge doesn't miss it. And that was his last at-bat of the season. It ends the way it started with absolute rockets all over the place. So to recap, in this series, we just watched it. Aaron Judge goes 9 for 15, which is a 600 average. Puts up a 1,618 OPS and absolutely did his part. His teammates didn't come through the same way, and the Yankees end up getting eliminated. But that's the unfortunate reality of baseball. You can't do it all yourself. But I did think his performance was noteworthy and definitely worthy of a watching video. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you learned a little bit about Aaron Judge, what makes him so great. It's not just the power, it's also the takes. It's also the anticipation. It's the one-pitch adjustments like he did against Varland. He noticed when they were coming in on him early in the series. He took a mental note of that. He adjusted to that. He made the Blue Jays pay. That's what the best hitters in the game do. And Aaron Judge, best hitter in the game. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Come catch us on the live stream. We're having a lot of fun over there in the chat. And thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. And I'll catch you on the next video. Thanks.